So my bad. But basically what I was trying to say is that like sure seems like anymore it's just an epidemic, and I may have touched on it previously on some of these videos, but it's not really anything that I usually go into detail about because I feel so strongly about it, which sounds weird, but it's just I can get pretty upset. There's a lot of different reasons for that. Lots of friends, lots of just people close to me that have conquered it and that have succumbed to it, and so I feel very strongly about it, and it's just something that anytime something like this happens, I wish wasn't an issue, wasn't something that it shouldn't happen. So that's not to disrespect anybody's life, anybody's death, anything like that. It's just shouldn't exist in my eyes. But so I just wanted to touch on that. It's very sad, and I plan on being there for my friend, my brother, basically. Not basically, he is the closest thing, really. I mean, I um, was young enough that I was basically like an only child, so my friends became my family very quickly. So he definitely is a brother. So anyway, much love and respect to his family, their family, everybody involved, um, because they need it. So um, on that note, though, I just wanted to kind of highlight that for a second. Um, Otherwise, dude, it is 311 day, and if for whatever reason you don't know who 311 is, or you're not from Nebraska, or whatever, I just never listened to 311, or whatever, you slept through the 90s or something. Um, it's March 11th, so it's 311 day. The band is 311, and I thought that I'd just kind of reminisce a little bit about them. I was really big into them in high school. I still listen to them from time to time. There's definitely some key tracks that are amazing, and I can't help but shake my ass or sing to. So, or both. But it's it was just it was some good times, and that's what it always reminds me of. They're always up for a good time, and they're great to see live. I've seen them live. I've seen them live a handful of times, and kind of related to the first point that I hit on. My good friend, I just got my hair butchered today. I'm still trying to with my white ass head, but my friend that lost his brother. So picture, if you will, it's like 1995 or 4, maybe 95, 96, maybe 96, might have been 15. Anyway, um, my sister is older than me and badass, and she was cool enough to take me to my first like 3 or 4 concerts. Um, Really young age, early 90s. I was early teen, just barely a teen. And one of the concerts that we went to was Edgefest. I believe it was Edgefest 96, because she and I would have gone by ourselves to Edgefest 95, which was the first one. And Edgefest 96, we went with my buddy, and his name is Jordan, and then my brother-in-law Jim, who was her then boyfriend. So the four of us, and he's even her husband's even a couple years older than her, so they're like, it was pretty wild. So we're these young teenage punks, and fucking we go, and it's like 311 and Violent Femmes are headlining, so they knew who Violent Femmes were, and so they were down to check everything out or whatever. And then it was a shit ton of other bands, and outdoor concert, middle of summer, and so they're like, giving us shit because they're like older and like feeling out of place and everything, and like totally trying to, play the embarrassment card, which didn't work all the way because Jordan and I still like idolize them very much. So like super as cool as they get, but it's still, hokey and corny. So it was worth it. Um, and then basically they were like, you guys don't have, like, we can separate, like you guys can go do your thing, and then we can do our thing and hang out. And we're like, for real? And like, we like just like scattered, dude. And we went, and I remember there was this point where we were like walking through the crowd, and we were like, if it was 96, I was 14, about to turn 15, something like that, and or just turned 15, and then he's, almost a year younger basically, and same grade, whatever. But we're walking around, and so we had already been drinking for like a couple years at this point. Like we started far too early, and but we're like, yeah, and we're like pulling out cigarettes that we brought, and we're like looking around and shit. There's like one point where like my sister and her husband passed by us, and we were smoking cigs, and I was like, just didn't stop dead in my tracks, and they just kind of give us a nod or whatever, and we're like, oh fuck, dude, so that's that. But we're walking around, and there's this group of people, they're just fucking hammered, they're probably in their 20s or whatever, and this dude is just like, he's like double fisted or whatever, and he like looks at Jordan, and he's like, hey, and Jordan's like, yeah, what's up, man? And he's like, here you go, dude, and fucking hands Jordan a beer. And it was like fucking Raiders of the Lost Ark or some shit. Like, it was like the coolest shit ever. We're like, yeah, we got a beer and shit. We were all like all pumped and shit. Probably gonna like chug a beer in like 30 seconds between the two of us. And we start to walk off, and the guy's like, what are you doing? He's like, I just wanted you to hold it. He was like tying his shoe or fixing his boot or something. But he totally fucking played him. And then like all of his friends are like, ah, ha 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 ha, fucking little kids or whatever. And Jordan's like, man. And and so we like walk off, and we're all like bummed and shit. And then anyway, like he and I end up getting split up. Like we went in like the pit, and then he went his way and I went mine. I think I might have seen him. Yeah, I think, yeah, because at some point I saw him in the pit, and I was like, hey brother, like fucking, I'm gonna go back towards, I gotta take a piss, I'm gonna go back by the outhouses once this band is done. I believe it was Goldfinger, is done, then and it might have been a couple bands, uh meet me out the outhouses or whatever, I'll be straight up. And he's like, cool, cool. So like I go to the bathroom and shit, and I come out, and I'm just like standing there chilling, smoking a cigarette or whatever. And fucking the set's over, and um I see Jordan coming up, but he's fucking hobbling for some reason. I don't know. So he gets closer, and he's fucking missing a shoe. It was like a Airwalk or a Van. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask him. But we're always sporting either like Adidas Airwalks or Vans at that point, and fucking brand fucking new too. Like, and this was like a special thing. He didn't have shit. Like, he didn't come from. He didn't have shit. So I mean, like, brand new fucking shoes, and he was just fucking crushed. He lost them fucking flying around in the mosh pit and body surfing or whatever. And I'm like, man, that sucks. And he's like, yeah, it's cool. He's like, I got like $40 or whatever. Like, we had stop at Payless on the way back, and I can buy some cheap shoes or some shit, blah blah blah. He's like, I gotta have shoes, and it was like mid, maybe not even midway through the concert. So that was like, fuck, man. So we're like walking or whatever, and we see my sister and her husband, her boyfriend, um, and they're like, "What's up, guys?" Bleh. And we're like, "Hey," and they're like, "Dude, where's your shoe?" And so we explain it to him, and like he like saw somebody like throw his fucking shoe, like he saw his shoe like fly up on stage, so he knew it was like fucking gone. So we tell him all this shit, and look at that shit, it's crazy. Sorry, but we tell them this shit, and they're like, no way, dude, that's bummer, and we're like, and Jordan's like, it's cool, dude, we'll stop somewhere, I'll buy some uh shoes or whatever on the way home. And my sister, like, and that was like what we expected, dude. Like, it was like, what the fuck else are you gonna do, like. And my sister's like, no, fuck that, man. And we're like, what? And she's like, come on. And we fucking go from the back, from wherever the fuck we were. We're probably like midway up or whatever by this point, and we fucking go to the front, dude. And she fucking goes up and starts ripping this fucking security guard, dude. Some poor fucking sap security guard. Fucking, she demands to go backstage and find this shoe. And me and my brother in law and Jordan are just sitting there like, what, dude? Like, what is she doing? And we wait a while or whatever. And she comes back and she found his shoe. She said that she went back and she saw this. Basically, the security guard's like, good luck, and shows her this fucking huge pile of shoes and shirts and fucking God knows what, hats and whatever, just huge amount. And she fucking spots this fucking Airwalk van shoe of Jordan's and fucking grabs it, and it's the right one. And she comes back and gives him his shoe. And I don't know, like, needless to say, like, even like when we like talk about that story or whatever, you can just see like Jordan's eyes just like sparkle over and shit. And I think that like that really, uh, sparked a little bit of a crush or a mutual crush between the two of them, and I just think that that was like the one of the coolest fucking things, man. And it was a great show. 311 kicked ass. I don't know if we stayed for all the Violent Femmes or if we left early or what. But like, it was a great show, and really has hardly anything to do with 311. But that's like one of the first things I think of, was the first time I saw 311, and Shoeless Jordan, as they call him. And it was just fucking cool as fuck. So, um, still have never seen anything like that in my life. And I've been to a million shows since, and just have never seen just like, that's just my sister, man, and that's what, like, she's older and married and Catholic and blah, 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 and like all that, but like she's still like this vibrant, very unique, awesome soul. She's still the coolest female I've ever known. And that is just a great example, perfect example of how fucking cool she is. She's like, fuck that. Like, just like demands to go and fucking, get a shoe and shit. So, um, then I've seen him I've seen 311 a couple other times. One time I remember I was, I don't know if it was some kind of outdoor fest, rock fest, or fucking some fucking shit river riot or something, and fucking the mosh pit was crazy. Like it was just, well, it's not hard to do, but it's one of those times where like everybody's like fucking twice my size, and bodies are fucking flying around and shit, and I was like with these two of my buddies that are brothers, and they're fucking both like ass kickers and shit, and fucking big ass dudes. So I was like posting up by them, and fucking everybody's flying around and shit. And this dude, like this bald dude, who's like, his head was like right below my face. So he's shorter, is what I'm saying, and right in front of me, and he is like rocking the fuck out, and he jumps back like whoa, and fucking his head comes and just busts my shit open, and there's like fucking blood everywhere. Like I'm just like, "Ugh," and I luckily I had my nose broken many times before, and or in my life basically since then and before, and so it was one no thing, but there was a fucking shitload of blood, and I was blacked out drunk. I remember being like wandering around at that concert. I don't know who the fuck I went with. I couldn't tell you who the fuck I even went with or went home with, or if they were the same people, or what. But I didn't drive, I know that. But fucking faded. So meanwhile, dude fucking splits my shit, and like I'm just like like trying to catch it with my shirt and shit. And my two buddies in front of me, they're like, dude, you gotta go. You gotta fucking go, dude. Like, you're freaking people out. You're in like the pit and just like spraying blood or whatever. I'm like, it's cool, man. Like, it's cool. Don't worry about it. And I just try to rock it out still. And like, people around me, I'm like, I keep telling them, I'm like, I don't have AIDS. I don't have AIDS, you know? uh, and so I just kept fucking rocking out, and it like eventually dried up and shit. And I just remember like walking out and being like, "Whoa, man, fucking crazy!" And people are like, "Dude, you're fucking nuts, homie." So, um, that was the craziest 311 show I've ever been to, where it was like crazy shit happened. In that sense, it's always eventful. It's always one of those bands where it's like an eventful concert where it's like this something fucking happens and it's fucking significant, So I mean that's always cool, but that would be like the most outlandish or crazy one in that sense. Dude busted my shit open. So, um, but anyway, they're a great band and like so many different songs, and I hope that if you've never checked them out, check them out. I personally prefer the first like handful of albums, but they've got many albums out, and whatever fucking floats your boat, but I used to rock them, man. Fucking white Adidas pants, fucking hemp necklace, and rolling in a fucking Taurus, jamming fucking 311, dude. You know, I guess I haven't really like my wardrobe and shit hasn't really fucking changed all that much in fucking 20 years, but I don't know. It was just nostalgia, it brings back a lot of memories, girls and buddies and road trips, fucking galore, and some really good times. So I don't know, man. It's really all I got. I just wanted to say hey and throw that on there. I hope that, it brought a smile or a laugh. I'm sure, so, you got similar stories and whatnot, or it brings up, some similar stories, or some fondness is there. I just love those thoughts and love those times. Concerts are one of my favorite things in the fucking world. It's really the only, like, besides movies, is like the only real heartbreaking thing for me, besides people dying, about COVID, So I really miss them. I really miss the shows, dude. And hopefully, we get back to normalcy sooner than later. I really think that it is dying down, but who fucking knows, dude? So anyway, on that note, man, happy 311 day. Take care of your loved ones, and squeeze them in a little bit harder, man, because you just never know, dude. And um, yeah, whether it's siblings or your mate or one of your best friends, it just can be gone. It can just be gone in a blink of an eye. And then you're just left with memories, not able to make more. So, anyway, not to get too dark on that tip, but much love, and everybody have a good evening.